Welcome back to Catholic Plus, where we are finding faith in fun. Join me as we mine entertainment for the treasures of our faith to serve you and the new evangelization. Today, we are exploring the Book of Boba Fett, Season 1, Episode 2. If you like Catholicism and Star Wars, click that like button. And if you'd like to see more from Catholic Plus about Star Wars, Marvel, and more, click the subscribe button and tap the bell icon. So here we find ourselves headed back to the palace of the daimyo, with the Nightwind prisoner that Fennec Shand has in custody. After trying to kill Boba Fett in the previous episode, this Nightwind assassin is brought before Boba for questioning. He will not answer who hired him to assassinate Boba. Despite threatening to be beheaded, he will not talk. When they pretended to feed him to the Rancor, he finally decides to talk and says that the mayor sent him. It is important here to recall that Boba Fett said in the first episode that he will not torture. In this case, I think it is safe to say he's just scaring the Nightwind assassin rather than actually torturing him. Keep in mind that torture in the Catechism of the Catholic Church is referred to as an inherent evil, meaning that it's something that is always wrong in and of itself, like directly taking an innocent human life. Both of these are inherently evil. One nice thing here is that Boba Fett seems less interested in revenge than investigating who sent the Nightwind assassin. He practices the virtues of patience and prudence rather than giving into the vice of rash judgment or ruthless vengeance by killing this assassin in a fit of rage or revenge. When Boba and Fennec take the assassin before the mayor to find out why the mayor sent him, the mayor has the assassin executed swiftly because Nightwind assassin activity is illegal in the city of Mos Espa. Given that Boba Fett is taking the former position of Jabba the Hutt, and the mayor would be presumably a more honorable position, it seems a bit ironic that Boba Fett has no desire to kill this man, even though this assassin tried to attack and kill Boba Fett. Yet, the mayor is willing to execute the assassin on the spot without trial. Nevertheless, Boba Fett's willingness to tolerate this man is halfway as good as Pope St. John Paul II's willingness to visit and forgive his would-be assassin in prison. It would have been interesting to see if Boba Fett could have come around to forgiveness had this assassin been allowed to live. I could even have seen this assassin coming to work for Fett, especially since he has similar loyalty to his master as the Gamorreans had in the last episode, and they came to serve Boba Fett. Something for us to reflect on here is whether we would have been willing to forgive this assassin if given the chance, like Pope St. John Paul II did. When the Hutt twins show up, claiming control over Tatooine, Boba Fett calmly rejects their claim and stands his ground. He is neither being confrontational nor a pushover. Some people might claim that Christians are to be meek, but to be meek, we must remember, is not to be a pushover. Not liking Boba Fett's response, the twins bring out their muscle, Black Krrsantan. Perhaps we can learn something from this. Boba Fett knows that his reign will be better for the people of Tatooine than the Hutts, like Jabba. So in his defense of his claim to rule, he's actually benefiting the common good, which is something deeply valued by the Catholic Church. It is frequently repeated in the Catechism, especially for things like why Catholics need to vote to defend the common good. Finally, the Hutt twins back down and were taken into a flashback. We see Boba being trained by the Tuskens as a train rolls through the desert and fires upon them, killing tribe members while Boba helps them get to cover. This unprovoked attack kills and wounds several Tuskens. As they burn the bodies of the dead, Boba plans how he's going to help the Tuskens, who were at a severe technological disadvantage, not only to protect them from such unjust aggression, but also to win back the dignity that they deserve as sentient beings. Boba Fett is willing to put himself into incredible danger to achieve this, but he's begun to care for the Tuskens, even becoming one of them, so he follows his conscience, doing what he believes is the right thing. I wonder, to what extent would we be willing to sacrifice ourselves for the good of another group of people that we are just beginning to know? Entering the bar, Boba Fett finds the biker gang he is looking for, who in the previous episode wickedly attacked moisture farmers in the middle of the desert. And here they are threatening hurting innocent bystanders. Boba steps in to defend them righteously, but we do not get the sense that he is vindictive. He is doing what needs to be done, yes, but he is also directly protecting these people. Boba only draws arms when they attack first, so he's acting in self-defense. I am impressed at the way that the writers set up this scene so that Boba is not an unjust aggressor. He's always defending himself or others and achieving virtuous ends in the process. Now, lest he seem too heroic, Boba takes a villain that is already defeated and he throws him through a window, which is excessive. And here is something worth asking ourselves about. Is it stealing that he takes their speeder bikes? Probably, which would be an evil. Again, Boba is no saint, but to a degree we have to admit in this lawless territory, this is a first step toward justice. Back at the Tusken camp, they prepare by training to ride the bikes and hand-to-hand combat as they await the return of the train. When the train returns, again, it opens fire on the Tuskens, who shoot back to defend themselves, but this time they attack with the bikes. After heavy losses both at the camp and on the train, the Tuskens are victorious in stopping the Pikes moving through their territory and firing indiscriminately, killing many Tuskens in the process. Under Boba Fett's control, he allows the Pikes to live, but he takes their resources as payment for the damage they inflicted passing through the territory, and the Pikes agree to pay a tax to move through the Tuskens' territory in the future. Here Boba Fett wins a great victory on behalf of a people being taken advantage of because they lack power and a voice. Boba Fett stands up for the weak. Now, things get a little freaky here. This lizard thing that is a gift from the Tuskens is creepy, to be sure. But the thing that I really don't like about it is that this little lizard seems to even possess Boba Fett to a degree. This line that it will guide him from inside his head does not seem like a good moral thing. But in Boba's defense, he did not choose this. He begins to hallucinate and he finds himself walking in the desert. I get the impression that this is somewhat like a vision quest for this tribe. The most important element is that Boba Fett encounters challenge and struggle with both memories and hallucinations, and he returns from the darkness with this stick. I'm so thankful when this creepy lizard finally returns to its basket. I really didn't like that part of the episode. The stick, of course, has great significance, as it is a lot like a coming-of-age situation in the tribe, like the Jedi who receive their first Kyber crystal and construct their lightsaber as younglings. This clothing ceremony taking place reminds me a lot of a vesting ceremony for a priest or a religious as they are taking on their new life and formal vocation. The music used with the care involved in wrapping him in these garments suggests the honor such a ritual involves. In the same way as Boba Fett was stripped of his garments in the previous episode after crawling out of the Sarlacc, we now see him emerge a new man, having gone through new trials and prepared for the next stage of his life's journey. This is something valuable for us to remember as we encounter trials, and there are times there is value behind the struggle. As Boba Fett has been somewhat reborn in these two episodes, from the bounty hunter who worked for the Empire to capture Han Solo, a mere mercenary and somewhat scum-like bounty hunter, he is now emerging as someone new. Just like this crummy piece of wood symbolically undergoes change to become an honorable Tusken weapon. Similarly, the wood must be scraped and chipped away so as to reveal something greater underneath. This is much like us, where things have to be scraped away and purged. We have to be pruned so that the good inside of us can come out. Forged in fire, the metal of the stick comes out stronger and prepared to take on future struggles. I really appreciate the sacredness that the show gives to this process, as it is not brief and really goes into the detail of it. As Catholics, our rich sacramental life would lend us to appreciate this kind of ritual and respect. Here we have a new Boba Fett presenting his weapon to the tribe, and it further enhances our understanding of who he is when not in these flashbacks as the new daimyo on Tatooine that would take place later. If not for these Tuskens, what kind of man would Boba Fett have been after emerging from the Sarlacc? Would he have been bitter, angry, vindictive? What would my response have been? What would yours? Here, Boba Fett is brought into something bigger to change him for the good, similar to how our involvement in the church is meant to help us grow in virtue and holiness, and we also have our rites and rituals that help in that process as well. Let me be super clear. This is just a fantasy adventure series of episodes, but I continue to maintain that Catholic Plus is all about drawing out from popular culture the ways our faith is present there so that we might be inspired as well as use these examples to evangelize others and better share the truths entrusted to us by God. But what do you think of this analysis? And did I miss anything? Comment below so that we can share more spiritual insights together. If you're proud to be Catholic and a fan of Star Wars, be sure to like, subscribe, and click the share button below to help evangelize with us. Special thanks to all Catholic Plus patrons who make Catholic Plus possible. If you'd like to see the gifts you can receive by supporting Catholic Plus too, check out our Patreon page in the description below. Remember, the Lord will be with you always.